Living the dream. Here we are today in this buggy infested area down by the creek. After we recuperated a little bit from our A-100, and wanted to give a little bit of a review on it. So first, let's start with introductions. Reuben, Lunar.
Hi, I'm Reuben. Lunar is my trail name from hiking some long distance trails, and my business is Lunar's Outdoor Adventures. I'll be guiding backpacking trips in the state forests of Pennsylvania to start out, and all kinds of other adventures. So if you follow along, see what we get into. And this is Ron.
Hi, I'm Ron from Ron in the Forest. I accidentally fell into this by working at a local place. I got my opportunity to be a forest therapy guide, and then it's one of those things that we know is where we should be. We know what we should be doing. We should be out there in nature, and had the opportunity to start introducing other people to it. So this is where we're going to go. Ron in the Forest and Lunar. We're going to get as many people out in the forest as we can get, whether it's a hiking, kayaking, overlanding,
All
whatever it
kinds of
is.
adventures.
We're going to get people out there. We're going to find a way.
Yippers.
So we want to talk about our A-100.
Yeah, let's talk about the A-100 and what the challenge is, and who put it on, and then we'll talk about the broader organization.
Okay.
So you go ahead and start with, well, you were the first one to sign up for the A-100. I actually put it out as a Facebook post to my friends, like, who's in on this.
Right, and I'm gonna blame that on my wife. This is gonna be on Deb. Deb is a 5K runner. She's run several half marathons, and for some reason, since we took on the 75 Hard Challenge, I feel like I'm just not keeping up with her.
Okay.
So Reuben put out there about the A-100, and I'm like, ooh, 100 miles. I don't know about this. And then I read the description, and you could break it down to 25, 50, or 75 miles. And I'm like, I think I'm going to push myself to the limit. So I got online, read a little bit more about it, and there was a small window of time to sign up, and I had to wait a month.
Yep.
From when you said about doing it, I had to wait a month, and then I had my mind made up, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do 50 and 50, and I think it went on around noon. I think they opened the sign up. Whenever they opened up the sign up, I would like to see their database, because I may have been like the second or third one that signed up, and mainly that was so I didn't second guess and
Ponder it
for too long and not sign up. So yeah, I jumped right on that. I'm going to do 50 miles in 50 hours,
and that's the any of the mileage. The challenge is to do it in 50 hours. So then I was like thinking about it, and then once Ron signed up for it, I was like, well, I guess I have to do it now. so then I signed up for it as well. I had another friend from Colorado sign up for it, but life got in the way of him actually making it here. So Ron was the only other person that I knew of the 199 people
199
people
signed up.
Yep. So that was a pretty...
We can link those stats to see just where they went. You can link that in here.
Yeah, we'll put that in there, because they have already sent out all of the completers. So there were a lot more 50-mile completers than signed up for it, because many of the 175.
Yeah, I think that's what they did. I'm not sure of that, but I think that if you signed up for 100 and you completed 50, I think they still put you in at the 50.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why there's more to 50 than signed up for 50. It's kind of...
So what were we doing?
Well, what were we doing?
50 miles on the North Country Trail.
North Country Trail.
And it's in the Allegheny section of the North Country Trail, which is 100 miles of it's either 4,300 or 4,800 mile trail. It goes all the way from Vermont to North Dakota. And we'll have links in the show notes for more information about the North Country Trail in general as well. Because it very well may be in your backyard. You know?
Yeah. I was surprised to realize that it was this close to us, the challenge, and I didn't realize it was that close.
Yeah.
But I'm already thinking about doing the other 50 next year.
Well, and next year the other 50 goes the other way.
So
we'll get the whole 100 of
right.
the Allegheny section of the North Country Trail. yeah, so,
So this
I'm already.
this challenge that they had was a fundraiser.
Mhm.
Was a fundraiser for them. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
because
sure they did very well with the fundraiser, having people sign up. But kudos to them. I mean, the trail was very well groomed for
very
this.
well cut. Yep.
Very well cut.
It was
There
muddy.
the beginning of it, I gotta say, probably kicked my butt because I was trying to keep up with the young guys and the 6 foot guys. I was trying to keep up with them, and by the first 19 miles, I felt good, and then all of a sudden my knee started to bother me, and the mud. I mean, there's no other walking in mud that you couldn't get sure footing on over and over and over was tiring.
It's taxing, and
was
you
very tiring.
recognize that you have muscles that you don't use very often,
Right.
and those stabilizer muscles get used
Yep.
a lot when you're trying to keep your balance in slippery mud. So
So we started at 6 p.m. Friday.
6 p.m. was the start. They
Yep.
released the 100 milers first, and then 75 on down to the 25s. Of course, the one bathroom that was up there, I didn't wait in line a while until after everybody left, so I didn't start until the 25ers,
Right.
which was fine. It was definitely the most people I've hiked with in a long time.
Yeah, it's probably it is the first time that I ever hiked with any large group going out in a bubble like that.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see the different levels that would pass you, and then you would pass them.
Yep.
And then there would be a bubble that would pass you, and then you would catch that bubble. It was definitely mind setting because I feel like I'm going the same pace, but am I increasing or decreasing?
Right.
What am I doing?
Well, and it's very reminiscent for me of the long trails and like on the Appalachian Trail, how there's northbound bubbles, and you'll camp with some people one night, and you'll see the same people throughout the day as you're stopping for water and stopping for snacks and stopping because that hill's so steep.
Right, and to be with other people and to see the different abilities and different styles, the different packs, the different gear. Probably one of my fondest memories I'll take from it is a guy hiking with a lawn chair, an actual aluminum lawn chair on his backpack. But really, it's probably one of the lightest things in his pack. I bet it's just a piece of hollow aluminum, right? But it was funny to see it.
Yeah.
And the other was there when it started to get really dusk. The guy in front of you and I kept looking back and asking us about our night vision.
Right.
He's got a spotlight on. He's crazy. I don't even have my headlamp. I don't have any lights out yet. And I think you had yours on, but you didn't have it turned on. You didn't have it turned on? You
No,
didn't have it out yet?
I didn't have mine out until we stopped there.
So here's this guy, like, couldn't believe that we were still going through the woods and could see, but clearly with the light he was throwing in front of us and the light poles that were behind us.
That were behind us.
I mean, them lights on them poles were probably about that long, and then the bottom of their trekking poles, they're big spotlights. I mean, we didn't need our lights.
That.
We didn't need our lights on. But, and then it didn't take long after that for people to start falling off, getting ready for camp.
Yeah, camping and setting up the first night. Yeah, I ended up going about 15 miles that first day and setting up camp. I had stopped at a couple of different spots, and this one there were still people awake and setting up camp, and I didn't feel like I was imposing or waking anybody up. The one spot, the one shelter that I stopped at, I felt like I was disturbing people.
What time was that? What time of night?
It's like 11
o'clock.
Yeah.
You must, because when it got dark and we got separated, but we expected that was going to happen. But I stopped to fill my belly because that was one of my concerns, is being able to consume enough calories through the hike. Because a lot of times I'll just go because I feel good, and then once you get into that depletion, it's hard to get you back up. I was concerned about that, so I took time out, had scheduled times, and I stopped and I ate. And then I just felt like going, so I kept going. I hiked until around 1 o'clock, I think it was, when I finally stopped and took a nap.
And it must have been a short nap.
It was a short nap because you know that jump you get in the morning when you think you missed your alarm?
Right.
Well, that's where I was. I jumped. I'm like, oh no, what did I miss? And I'm like, oh no, I'm on the A-100. I'm having a good time. And then I sit there and pondered in my brain. I'm like, if I'm awake, I might as well be walking.
Might as well.
So I put my lamp on and started walking again.
Well, because you got to that checkpoint at 2:30.
First checkpoint, yeah.
The first checkpoint, and I checked that checkpoint. I remembered to see if he had gone through already, because I wasn't sure where he had camped and any of that. So I saw that he was there at 2:30. I went through at 10:30, so he was 6 hours ahead of me at that point. Of course, at the next check-in, I forgot to look to see if what time you had gotten there, and I don't know whether you.
The second one would have been
the 25 mile.
25 miler. I was like 9:14, I think it was, like 9 a.m.
So you would have been there before me then too.
Yep.
So then it was between there and the next checkpoint at Highway 6.
Yeah, because Highway 6, that's a whole nother story for me. I was ready to tap out because of mile 19, my one knee started bothering me no injury, just fatigue, over pushing it, overworking it. And by mile 23, the other knee kicked in, and now I'm just struggling. And when I got to, it was the ridge before you got to Highway 6. I was up on top, I had some cell service, and I called the wife, and I said, come get me. And she said, drop me a pin, and I'll come get you. And then through conversation, she goes, you sure that's what you want me to do? And just hearing, are you sure, made me think, hey, you got one more step, what are you doing? And so I told her, this is where I'm at. And for safety reasons, this is where I'm at. I'm not ready to get out yet. And then I hiked on down to Route 6. I still had cell service, and I reached out to her, and I said, I'm hurting really bad, but I'm going to force myself through it. If they get me out of here, they're going to carry me out, because if I can take a step, I'm going to keep going. And I went from a 3 mile an hour to a 1.5, and that last mile down that long switch, it took me an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, something like that, to get the last mile.
You were at the end of your of your coherence there.
Yeah, that was.
You started to go the wrong way too, didn't?
When we got down there, and Deb asked me, why'd you turn the wrong way? And I don't know the direct answer to that, the correct answer, I should say. But I think what it was is my mind was so set on following blazes,
right,
that when I got down there, it was a double blaze, and I was following blazes. Clearly, I didn't want to do another 25 miles, so I shouldn't be going that way. And then when she was hollering for me, I could hear her, but I could also hear people over at the 50-mile mark, which was on the other side of the creek.
Yep.
But my mind wasn't putting together. I had to go to the road to get the bridge to get to their side, and I was just stumbling down through and heard her yelling, and I'm like, am I imagining this? Is somebody out here looking for me?
When I didn't see you in that register is when I messaged you and Deb at the same time, actually, and was able to communicate with her, and then she was able to update me on where you were and how you were doing.
Right.
So
slow going the last day. Slow going.
But then you passed me again.
Yeah.
So it must have been Saturday night when I set up camp. You must have kept going and passed me through the night.
I stopped and ate, and my legs started to stiffen up, and I thought, if I take too much of a rest, I'm not going to be able to move. I thought everything's going to stiffen up. So, if I slow go, I can slow go. And I ended up taking where I think you were in Fox something, wasn't it?
Fox Dam.
Yeah, when I got there, it was late. It was probably midnight, 1 o'clock when I went through there. And you'd already been in your tent, and I wasn't sure which tent you had this time, because you always have a different tent every time we're out, trying something else out.
Right.
So I wasn't sure, so I wasn't going to knock on tents. So I kept going until I got to the top of the next ridge, and I thought I just need to take a nap. And I kept looking for the perfect spot, which there is no such thing. But I found these two trees. I found these 2 trees, and I thought, that's perfect. So I laid my drop cloth down and threw my sleeping bag, and I got in it. And I remember laying back and thinking I was a hot dog in a bun. Them trees were pushing right against me. I'm like, oh, this is what a warm hot dog feels like. I'm just nice and cozy. But I got woke up to some sprinkling, and the storm was coming in. I thought, if I'm going to lay here and get wet, or am I going to walk and get wet? So I put my gear.
You had a tarp. You didn't have a.
I had my rain fly for my hammock.
Right.
So I took my rain fly. I didn't take the hammock. I just took the rain fly. So I had my sleeping bag with my rain fly over me. But I started walking, and it got raining so hard you couldn't see. My visor wasn't keeping the moisture off my glasses. But so I found some hemlocks to hide underneath, and I was there for maybe 5 minutes, and I'm like, you know what? If I'm standing here getting wet, I might as well be out there getting wet. So it was an adventure. It was like, 1, 2 in the morning, pouring down rain, and all you can see is where your spot is. I mean, there's so many life metaphors there. Too many times we focus about the stuff that's around us, and when it's not important.
Right.
Focus where you got to step. That's it.
Yeah, I saw that forecast that the rain was coming in 2 to 7, and I told myself I wasn't getting out of my tent until it was done. So,
so you slept through the storm.
I've walked in plenty of rain. I know that continuing to walk is better than sitting there getting wet, because at least you're producing your own heat and not getting cold from it too.
Yeah, we had perfect temperature, I would think, because any one time I had a long sleeve t-shirt on, had a dry fit and a long sleeve t-shirt on, and I was comfortable all weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I wear the sun shirt, and that was, I was totally good with that. I had to, like at night, I had to put a fleece layer on. So.
Right. But overall, I'm excited that I done it. I'm glad I did the A-100. Kudos to the people that maintain that up there.
Absolutely, it's an excellent trail organization.
Yep, it was great. There the first day, the guy that was walking behind us, did he say he was? I was overhearing all the conversations around me. He was the president?
He was the president. Yep. Redbeard is his trail name.
Redbeard's his trail name, yep. I just overheard some conversations back there.
And that's why I like trail names. I can remember trail names. I don't remember what his name is.
Yeah, I don't remember his first name at all, but I do remember Redbeard. So if Redbeard sees this, thank you for all the hard work you guys did out there. It's awesome.
Yep.
If you could have got rid of some of the mud, would have been perfect, but I understand.
Yeah, I mean, 70s for the highs and lows in the 50s. You couldn't have asked for better weather in June in Pennsylvania. So, what critters did you see?
I did see 2 snakes, and they were at the perfect time because, I look at the animal world as part of our spiritual world, and when I was kind of my down moment, and you see them guys just sitting there, and they represent transformation. It was at the right time. One was a garter snake, and the other one was a brown snake, and the brown snake was like the coolest thing because it was early morning and he was too cold to move, so he just laid on the trail. But when you looked at him, his pattern actually looked like it was twinkling.
Oh yeah,
because the light was on him, and the way he was breathing, it was just. I got it on video, and people would think that the video has a glitch in it because of the color, but it's actually him kind of making this motion. I don't know if it was a defense to tell me to stay away from him, but he didn't move. He didn't move at all. He stepped over him and kept going. Yeah,
I saw about 4 snakes. They're all garter. I saw one red eft. Did you see any of those?
Mm-mm.
Those are pretty cool. I saw some deer.
Chipmunks and deer.
I don't know if I saw any squirrels.
No, I think they were far enough ahead of us. They probably thought, man, there's 100 of them coming. Where's that next bubble coming? Just get out of here. But
lots of good fungus. So all that reishi.
Oh, it clearly looked like somebody planted that. Like somebody plugged those logs. It was just so many of them. It was pretty neat. Well, I saw chicken in the woods. I saw one patch of chicken in the woods.
I saw something that looked like it, but I didn't. It was far enough off trail that I didn't want to go check it out.
Yeah, I was very surprised and pleasantly surprised that as many people that there was that leave no trace. I mean, other than the mud and people trying to stay out of the mud, making the trail a little wider than it should be.
Right.
You couldn't really tell that people were out there. I didn't see any garbage on the trail.
The trash was very minimal.
I mean, it was good. I mean, like when we got to those reishi and there where I saw that chicken, there wasn't no piece broke off of it. Like somebody wasn't tempted to, hey, I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna take this.
I almost went back and got some.
Go back and but I was very, very excited to see that part of it too, nature. But I'm sure we'll have other notes and other reels spins off of this for you and I for what we're doing, and hopefully people can connect with us and get out on a trip with us.
Yeah, I want to do some trail talk, so I think that I'll probably have regular sessions like this with people that are out on the different trails with me, and I'm not going to limit the trails to just hiking trails, because we've got some overland trails that we'll probably get into, some water trails. The Susquehanna.
What are you doing next?
My next thing is the Great American Backyard Campout with the Maryland Conservancy at Glacier Pools Preserve.
Okay.
And then I'm doing the expo down at
Shikellamy Lookout?
Shikellamy, not the
No,
lookout,
the marina.
the marina.
Shikellamy Marina.
And that's in August.
Okay.
You'll have to stay tuned for the trips that I have coming, because I don't have any solid dates just yet, but they'll be coming before long.
Yeah, reach out to us about our dates, because things pop up all the time. I know we have a kayak trip planned at the end of this month. That there's no limit. We'll get enough people to kayak. If you have your own kayak, there's no limit. I mean, the river's wide.
Right.
Get in there and have some fun with people with like-minded. And then we're going to be doing the West Rim later in the year. And
do you know when that is yet?
I do know when that is, but I don't want to quote that because it's on my calendar and my phone is recording us. So the cell phones make us lazy in actually remembering dates. So I hate to.
It allows us to think about the more important things.
So we
don't have to recall those facts that can be.
Those facts. I know that we have a trip planned to Gatlinburg. We have a trip planned to the West Rim, and there's been some words thrown out about one of my coworkers would like to do the. What is it? Is it the Old Logger or the Logger?
Old
Loggers Path. There's nothing organized for that. He would like to put something together, but when we get people together like this, that we're all trying to do the same thing, bouncing off each other, it's a good time. Get people out.
For sure.
I know I had somebody reach out to me and want to know if I could take their son, just get their son back out into nature, and that's what we're about. Just any ability. If you have the desire to get out and try something different. We can have a walk that's going to take an hour, or if you want to really experience something, we'll take you out, put you on top of the mountain for a week, and you'll realize in a hurry what you really do and don't need in life.
Backpacking is the true equalizer on figuring out what you need.
I'm telling you, the first time Deb went backpacking and I watched her overload that pack, I can guarantee you 100% that she'll never backpack again with a cosmetic bag. Because nobody really cares if you have eyeliner on.
Nobody cares what you look like in the woods.
We're saying nobody cares, which is funny is when we get off when I got off the A-100, she looked at me with that, proud look that she was so excited that I accomplished it. And she looked at me and she says, I want to hug you so bad, but you smell so bad. And I'll never forget that. I want to hug you so bad, but you smell so bad. It was priceless moments of trail smells.
Been there.
So, we're going to wrap this up, move into getting out and doing something, and hopefully people can connect and do stuff with us.
Yeah, check it out.
So, ow.